Welcome to IVC TV and this edition of the Laser's Edge. I'm Keith Shackleford. With us today, two of the stalwarts of a bit of a dynasty here at Irvine Valley College, women's badminton. Joining us today is head coach Martin McGrogan and star returning redshirt sophomore Stephanie Tran. Thanks for being with us today, both of you.
Thank you.
2006 was a bit of the end of that dynasty, but maybe only temporarily. The Lasers went 7-4, winning their final 3 matches, but their consecutive streak of state championships and conference titles ended at 4. During the OAC championships that year, they did continue the streaks of singles and doubles championships as Eva Lee defeated Yuki Nagawa in the final, once again featuring 2 Irvine Valley College student athletes in an OAC conference championship. They then combined forces to win their OAC doubles title. They then took the team on the road to the state championships, where Nagawa and Lee again repeated their OAC successes by winning the state singles title and again the state doubles title. It's a program steeped in success despite its youth, and any one of the players that has experienced that success, one of them would be Stephanie Tran. Stephanie's a redshirt sophomore returning to Irvine Valley College after a stint in the biological sciences at UCI. Stephanie redshirted in 2006 while she was at UCI, but was a member of our 2005 state championship team. That team was loaded with talent, and Stephanie played at the 3 spot behind 2 of the best players in Irvine Valley College history, but again was part of a state championship team, the 4th in a row for the Irvine Valley College Lasers. Steph, let's talk a little bit about you and your presence here at Irvine Valley College.
Okay.
How's training gone thus far? It's early in the season, we know that, but you're bouncing back from a year away from the intercollegiate game. Has there been any adjustment?
Training's been good so far. We've just started. The only adjustment would be our new scoring system. That's a little different from what we were used to before, but I think I've gotten the hang of that. But other than that, training's been good. Training every day, 2 hours every day, intensive training, and hopefully that'll help us when we play our games, start playing our games in a couple of months.
Did you stay as part of the game while you were gone? Did you play at all?
I did. I played every week. I made sure that I got at least a little bit of badminton time between my studies, so I wouldn't forget when I came back to Irvine Valley.
Well, Orange County might be regarded as the center of the badminton universe for the state of California and possibly the nation, with the badminton center in Villa Park and things of that nature. Where were you playing during your time away from IVC?
I was playing down in San Diego. That's where I usually play on the weekends, or when I went to high school, I played down in San Diego. So it was just, I played with friends, met a lot of people down there, and just practiced wherever I could play.
I know we have a pretty young team this year, and as a returning starter from 2005, what's your role on this team as both maybe a player and as a leader?
Well, hopefully I'll be able to bring to them what it's like to play at a college level. The experience that I've had in the past year playing on the team, I can hopefully help them adjust from, say, if they played in high school or played elsewhere. But otherwise, I can just help them improve their game overall.
Where did you play high school badminton?
I played at Mira Mesa High School down in San Diego. So.
Is that a traditionally strong high school program?
That is. It's a very strong high school program, strong badminton program. We made it to the finals a couple of times throughout the years. So.
Based on your experience both in San Diego and now at the college level, what's the biggest part of that transition, and is that something you can help our freshmen with?
Biggest transition would be just, it's a lot more intense at the college level, but the atmosphere is just the same. It's pretty much a family atmosphere throughout the whole badminton community. So for the freshmen, hopefully they'll just blend in with our team and then work on adjusting from going from high school to college and playing at that level.
How did you become part of our program in the first place? What brought you to IVC and what brought you to IVC badminton?
My family just decided to move here, so I attended Irvine Valley as a freshman. I was on the badminton team, and Coach McGrogan here introduced me to the women's badminton team, and I just fell in love with the team and thought it was just a great team to be part of.
You're a really unique situation among our student athletes. The traditional model would take you into IVC, play your 2 years, and then move on to a 4-year experience and continue your athletic career there. You took a bit of a different path by going to UCI last year. Did Irvine Valley College, either athletically or academically, help prepare you well for that experience?
Transition to UCI was really smooth, and Irvine Valley College helped me a lot when transferring to that school. went there for a year for my studies, but I decided that I would come back to Irvine Valley just because I liked the atmosphere a lot more better, and I was more comfortable here, and I thought I would go here for 2 semesters and transfer, to which I'll be transferring to Cal State Fullerton hopefully in the fall.
We know you were successful while at UCI, and we're very happy, of course, that you're back, but where does this lead to long term? What happens maybe after Cal State Fullerton?
Hopefully I'll be able to go to medical school somewhere in the country. I don't know yet. But after that, I don't know. Hopefully I'll become a pediatrician in probably a couple years. Just continue studying and hopefully continue playing badminton throughout my years.
Well, Coach Stephanie's a bit different than the normal student athlete that we see, but maybe not too different from the normal student athlete in your program. We seem to see a lot of success academically and athletically from your squads in the past.
Badminton, we're in a very unique situation at Irvine Valley College. We have a lot of very high achieving student athletes, a lot of people who have maybe been successful already. We have a player this year who's already got a master's degree, but as a young lady didn't get a chance to play competitive badminton and wants to come back and is enrolled in 12 units and will play here. So we're involved in a sport that is, as Stephanie said, is a family sport, but education definitely comes first for all of our ladies on the team. Absolutely.
A little bit of background on Coach McGrogan. He's not just the women's badminton coach here at Irvine Valley, he's also the men's soccer coach. And success seems to kind of follow Coach McGrogan around. Or maybe it's more of a case of Coach McGrogan brings success with him. In addition to a state record 4 straight team titles in badminton from 2002 to 2005, Coach has also won 2 national championships as the head coach for men's soccer. Other things of note: the badminton team during those 4-year skein of victories ran off 59 consecutive matches with a victory, again a state record. That brings us to this year's team, Coach. We were 7-4 last year, a bit of a difference from the previous 4. Where do you see the team in terms of our level of training right now, and where do you project them by season's end?
Shaq, you know what? It's always difficult because you haven't seen what the other teams are players are coming in. We are very fortunate at Irvine Valley. When we first started, we were trying to get players to play. We had great support from our administration and our athletic director, Dr. Mora. We had one of our female coaches, the basketball coach actually, Julie Hanks, actually took 12 units and played for us. We had a couple of the young ladies on the volleyball team, Angie Crilly and Lizzie Garrett. I mean, just two good athletes, and they wanted to play some sports. They were competitors. So when we started off early, we had players who were just good athletes but didn't play a lot of badminton. It wasn't their first sport. And even early on, we got to the semi-finals and we lost to San Diego Mesa. So we've always been fairly competitive, but we've always had great people around the team. And right now we're in an area that we have a lot of people where badminton, it's their first sport, it's their love, and they are as dedicated as any soccer player or volleyball player or basketball player you've ever seen.
Let's talk a little bit about this year's team. You've relied on a big gun, for lack of a better word, the last couple of years. Last year was Eva Lee, the #1 ranked team in the country. What's the makeup of this team? Is it maybe as much firepower, or maybe a little less, but maybe a little more depth? Where is the 2007 squad?
I think the squad is probably very, very strong. Last year we had two very strong players in Eva and Yuki, and the rest of the players were beginning players, players that we recruited from our badminton classes. We had a number of players who, like Stephanie, had moved on to 4-year schools, and this year we have a very strong team. I think probably I would guess our first 4 players would possibly start as a #1 at any other school in our conference for sure, and probably I think in the state. So I think this year we have a lot more depth, and we certainly don't lack quality at our #1. And I think Stephanie will probably play #2. Now that's up to her. If she beats out Shannon, then you'll play #1. That's as easy as that. It's very easy,
IVC Badminton is also in a unique situation that you have some very special relationships in the badminton community. Tell us a little bit about your annual match with Bryn Mawr.
Bryn Mawr, Eric Miller is a coach from Bryn Mawr, and he likes to bring out the young ladies from Bryn Mawr, which is an all-ladies college back east. And they obviously looked at the record and saw that Irvine Valley had a quality team. So in the past 3 years, our school we've hosted them. When we play them, we take their players out for something to eat. We just appreciate people coming to our campus, having a look, and they know that Irvine Valley is a place where, yes, we play sports, but we also like to be gracious hosts and people feel welcome. We like to give them a meal. We don't like to give them too many points, but we like to give them a meal. Okay.
For those who are uninitiated, Bryn Mawr is an NCAA institution playing badminton as an intercollegiate sport at the 4-year level. Not a lot of those across the country, so it's always a nice pleasure to see those at a more elite level, at least theoretically. I don't think we've ever lost them, have we, Coach?
No, we have not. No.
So even though a 4-year institution, Irvine Valley is still setting the standard for success in those areas. Another issue, Coach, badminton doesn't always generate a lot of media attention. The exceptions might be, the World Championships were in Anaheim a year ago, or the Badminton Center here in Orange County, built by someone who has badminton near and dear to their heart. Where do you see badminton fitting in at our institution and maybe the larger community as a whole?
Again, we're in a very unique situation. We have a large Asian population that badminton is their first sport. So, the United Kingdom, Denmark, Sweden, Indonesia, Korea, China, they play badminton as a very serious sport, and we're basically in a very international city. And so we have people who are all playing badminton. There are people who play at Irvine Valley, who play at Golden West, who play at Pasadena. Down to San Diego, they want to play badminton, and they are dedicated athletes, and they really, really enjoy their sport, and they're very dedicated.
Your coaching staff, including what we might lovingly refer to as distinguished alumni, those who've played here previously and returned to the institution, are critical to your level of success. Tell us a little bit about Joseph Lim and maybe some of the others who are involved in your program on a day-to-day or more sporadic basis.
Sure thing. Joseph Lim is a key element of our program, and Joe is the glue that keeps our program together. Joe works extremely hard for badminton. Joe was a student in one of the badminton classes early on when we first had badminton at Irvine Valley. And after 3 or 4 semesters getting to know Joe, seeing how hard he works, seeing his level of expertise, I invited Joe to be our assistant coach. And in the first 2 years, we had it as a club team. And in fact, Jackie Myers, who played for us for 2 years on a club team, played for 2 years as a student athlete, full-time worker at UC Irvine, full-time mother, but just very dedicated former student at UCLA, is very much a part of what we do here. Joe is at the Orange Empire Centre in Orange, looking at players, and just generally speaking, we've been able to generate players who have really enjoyed the family atmosphere. They come back. Midori Tanaka played for us in those 2 club years. Lisa Appel played for us. We've had players like Lily Zhao, who played for 2 years and has now gone on and is coaching privately up in Northern California. We have Helen Tung, who's involved, Suzanne Wong, Ruby. These are all Kitty Yi Wong, people who, when they're in the area, they come and play, they talk to the girls, they're successful, and it's fantastic to see the ladies networking and helping each other and just being so supportive. They're a fantastic group of people. It's actually to coach in this particular situation is absolutely unique, and I am very, very fortunate.
The stereotype for this sport is that once you're done, it's retired back to the backyard and playing with neighbors. That's not the case here at Irvine Valley College. Talk about a couple of players who are now playing at the most elite levels in the world that are alumni from your program.
Well, Shaq, last year, the first time in 13 years, the USA qualified for the Uber Cup, which was held in Japan, and 4 of the ladies who travelled on that team had played at Irvine Valley. We had Rulan and Rulian Yi. We had Eva Lee, who played last year for us, and we had Lily Zhao. We've had national players. We're just in an area, and we're very fortunate that the Irvine Valley captures those players, and when they come, they seem to enjoy the family atmosphere that Stephanie talked about earlier on. So it's just fantastic that we have so many people who love the sport.
Well, it's been great talking to you both today. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shaq, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Stephanie, thank you.
Thank you.
Irvine Valley College Badminton plays on Wednesday and Friday afternoons here on the Irvine Valley College campus in Hart Gymnasium. As always, admission is free, and things like schedules and rosters are available on the website at www.ibc.edu. Thanks for joining us for this edition of The Laser's Edge. For Martin, McGrogan, and Stephanie, this is Keith Shackleford.